Hello class. So today we're going to look at GPS 5, which is multiplying and dividing with signed numbers. So the rules for multiplying and dividing with signed numbers I have over here. Here are the rules for multiplication. Oopsie. Rules for multiplication and division, okay, with signed numbers. And the rule is that if the signs are the same, so if the two numbers that you're multiplying and dividing have the same sign, okay, then the answer that you're going to get is going to be positive. And if the two numbers you're multiplying and dividing are different, they have different signs, then the answer that you're going to get is, oops, I don't have it, is going to be negative. All right? So if the signs of two numbers that you're multiplying or dividing are the same, it's going to be positive. The answer will be positive. If the two numbers you're multiplying or dividing are going to be different, okay, if they're going to be different signs, then the answer is going to be negative. So we'll see how this works in the GPS. So again, in this GPS, we're going to look at multiplying and dividing sign numbers. You can read the text if you like, but let's just go straight to a problem. So here we have 7 times 6. So 7 times 6 is 42, right? 7 is positive. The 6 is positive. So signs are the same. So it becomes positive. The answer is a positive. Here we have 8 times 9. So we first do 8 times 9, which gives us 72. And we see that the signs are opposites, right? We have different signs. We have a negative 8 and a positive 9. Signs are different, so our answer is going to be a negative, right? So again, if the signs are the same, like in the first problem, we have a positive 7 and a positive 6. Answer is positive. When we have a negative and a positive, the answer is negative. So let's look at the next one. So for the next one, we have 12 times 4, which is going to give us, oopsie, 12 times 4 is going to give us 48. And their signs are different, right? We have a positive 12 and a negative 4. Signs are different, so the answer is going to be negative. So it's going to be a negative 48. And again, for the first one, I didn't put a sign in the front of 42 because if you remember, if there's no sign in front of the number, it's considered to be positive. So it's like an imaginary positive sign. We don't have to write that. So whenever you see a number without a sign in the front, it's understood to be negative. Right? And then the last one we have here is 16 times 2, which is 32. Okay, but look at their signs. Negative 16, negative 2. The signs are the same. So then the answer is going to be positive, but you don't have to write it. Okay, it's understood to be positive here. So it's just 32. All right, let's continue. So here we have 45 divided by 5. That is equal to 9. They are both same signs, right? The 5 here is a positive. The 45 is a positive as well. The signs are both positive, so the answer is positive. All right, the next one, we have 72 divided by 9. That gives us 8. But the 9 is negative. The 72 is positive. Signs are different. So the answer is negative. We have next one is 24 divided by 3. That gives us 8. And the 24 is negative. 3 is positive. Signs are different, so it's a negative. All right, this one we have 30 divided by 6. That gives us 5. The signs are the same though, negative 6 and a negative 30. Signs are the same, so it becomes a positive, so we don't write anything. All right, let's do all of these here. So here we have 6 plus 9, 6 times 9, which is 54. signs are different, right? Positive, negative, signs are different, so it's negative. The next one, we have 81 divided by 9, that's 9, but the signs are the same. They're both negatives, so it's a positive 9. Next one, we have 5 times 6, which is 30, but they're same signs, right? They're both negative, signs are the same, so it's positive. Next one, we have 63 divided by 7, which gives us 9. The signs are different, right? 7 is negative, 60 is positive, so the answer is a negative 9. The next one, we have 8 times 4, that gives us 32. But the signs are different, right? We have a positive 8, negative 4, so they have different signs, negative. All right, next one, we have 48 divided by 8. That's going to give us 6. We have a positive 8 and a negative 48. Signs are different, so it's a negative 6. Next one, we have 12 times 7, which is 84. We have a positive and a negative. Signs are different, so it's a negative 84. And finally, the last one, we have 120 divided by 10, which gives us 12. And the signs are negative, negative. So the signs are the same, so it's a positive. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so next thing we're going to look at is order of operations. All right, and we'll talk about order of operation in a few minutes. So if you remember, when we do some order of operations, all right, we need to follow PEMDAS, right? So let's write that down here. Okay, so whenever we do order of operations, okay, we follow PEMDAS. Okay, PEMDAS. And I write it this way because you have to remember that when multiplication and division are next to each other, you do whichever one comes first. Okay, you do whichever one comes first. So, for example, one of you remember PEMDAS, let me talk about them. P, okay, P stands for parentheses. E stands for exponents, so you do parentheses and then exponents. M stands for multiplication. D stands for division, but you do whichever one comes first. And then A stands for addition and subtraction, but you do whichever one comes first when they're next to each other. So let's take a look at multiplication and division first, okay? Let's take a look at these two first. So when I say you do whichever one comes first, let's say I have an example that is 9 divided by 3 times 3, okay? So the proper way to compute this, all right, is to go left to right, right? The proper way is left to right, meaning you're going to first divide and then you will multiply, all right? And that's because whenever multiplication and division are next to each other, do whichever one comes first. So the correct answer is going to be 9 divided by 3, which is 3. And then you do 3 times the 3, which is equal to 9. That's the correct way, right? You don't do the multiplication first, because if you did multiplication first, you would have gotten 9 divided by 9, and that would give you 1. That is incorrect. So again, when we follow PEMDAS, multiplication and division, you do whichever one comes first. And the same goes for addition and subtraction, okay? Addition and subtraction, they're next to each other. You do whichever one comes first. So for example, if you had, let's say, 5 minus 2 plus 4, right? You don't do the addition first, all right? you don't do 2 plus 4 first. You go left to right. Okay? Why do we go left to right? We go left to right whenever the addition and subtraction are next to each other. Whenever you see the addition and subtraction are next to each other, you go left to right. So first you're going to do 5 minus 2, which gives us 3. Then you're going to add the 4. Then that gives us 7. That is the correct way to do it. Alright? So you first do 5 minus 2. Right? And then in this situation, you do 9 and 9 divided by 3. Okay, so do whichever one comes first. That's the correct way. The incorrect way would be to do 2 plus 4, which would give us 6, and then 5 minus 6, which gives -1. That's incorrect. This is the correct way. You go left to right. Okay, so now let's go back. But if you need to look at this part again, just rewind the video and watch this section again. That's very important. It's a very common mistake. Keep in mind, multiplication and division, all right, you do whichever one comes first. Addition and subtraction, okay, like in this example, you do whichever one comes first, left to right. All right, so in this situation, we have multiplication first, right? But multiplication comes before addition and subtraction. So we're going to do the multiplication first. So we're going to do -3 times -2. That's a +6 because the signs are the same, so it's positive. And then we just copy down the -5, and 6 minus 5 is equal to 1. So that's the answer, it's just 1. All right, the next one, we do parentheses first, right? So there's two sets of parentheses here. So first, let's look at this inner parentheses. So in this inner parentheses, we can't do anything. It's just a -8, right? So we can't do anything. So now we look in the outer parentheses. Now we look outside. Look at that bigger parentheses. Now, if we look at this bigger parentheses, I see that it's multiplication and then subtraction. So remember, multiplication comes first. So you're going to do the multiplication first over here. So let's copy everything over. We're going to get negatives from the outside. We didn't touch the -6 yet. Parentheses. Now we're going to multiply. 4 times -8, which is 32. -32. Right? The signs are different. So it's like a -32. Minus 9, close the parentheses. Now we're going to finish up the parentheses, and that's going to give us, right, signs are the same, so we're going to add. That's going to give us -41. Okay, and now we're going to do -6 times 41. So let's do that on the side over here. 41 times 6. Okay, that's going to give us 6 and 24. So, and then negative negative turns into positive. So the answer is going to be positive 246. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so this one, we're going to, again, first, let's multiply here. So it's going to give us a -8 minus 6. So we're going to do the evaluate the numerator first, simplify the numerator. -8 minus 6, divide by -7. All right, so here we have to subtract, signs are the same, so we add them. So that's going to give us a -14 divided by -7, and that is going to end up with a +2. Okay, because again, same sign, division turns positive. So here, you want to do all the parentheses first, right? So you see we can't do anything inside any of these parentheses, so we're just going to go left to right. All the multiplications first, okay, before we add and subtract. So do all the multiplications before we add and subtract. Well, first thing we should do is there's a negative and a negative here, right? So technically, the first thing we should do is turn them to positive. So let's rewrite everything. We're going to have a 2 times a -9 plus 8 times -3. And then the negative negative into positive, so it's going to be plus 6 times -3. Okay? And actually, this negative and negative is actually over is actually over here now, right? 2 times negative 9 plus 8 times negative 3, negative 20 positive, positive 6 times negative 3. So now, let's finish this. So here, this is going to give us a negative 18 plus, well, no, it's going to be minus now because it's 8 times, this is going to give us 8 times a negative 3. So it's going to give us a negative 24. And then here we're going to have a positive 6 times a negative 3, which is a negative 18. Okay, now if you just come do this one now, that's going to give us negative 18 minus 24. So we're going to add, so that's going to give us a 42, negative 42, right? They're both negatives, minus a 18, and that is going to give us a negative 60. Okay, negative we add, we get negative 60. Let's box our answers here. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, so this one, same thing. Well, here I see there's a big parentheses here, right? So let's first do these two guys. So copy everything. That's going to give us a negative 3 times a negative 6 minus 7 times negative 12, right? 2 times negative 6, negative 12. That's actually over here. Minus a 1. Now we're going to finish up the parentheses. So it's going to say negative 3 times a negative 6 minus 7 times a negative 13. Okay, because we're going to add those, keep the signs. Now we're going to multiply everything. So this gives us a positive 18. And then we have a negative 7 times a negative 13. That's going to be positive. And let's do it on the side. Okay, if you can do it in your head. It's going to be 21 and 79, 91. Okay, and all right. So here we have 18 plus 91. That's going to give us a 109. All right, let's do the last one. So the last one, we have this big set of parentheses. We're supposed to do a little parentheses, and we can't do anything. We're going to look outside, the big parentheses. So first, let's do these two guys. So we're going to get 45 minus 3 times negative 8 plus 1. And then we're going to finish up that parentheses. So we have 45 minus 3 times a negative 7. And then we're going to have, so that was this. And we're going to do this. It's going to be 45. We got 45. And then negative 3 times negative 7 is a positive 21. And then 45 plus 21 is going to give us 66. All right, so if you need any clarification for any of the problems again, you can always rewatch the video or post a question on the discussion forum. All right, I'll see you next time.